Hello friends, I'm here. Sorry about the delay in getting getting on camera today. I might have dumped a wall of text about my feelings about self-publishing in the Discord this morning. That might have happened. Peter, hello. Welcome. Ghost Pepper, hello. Welcome to your day off. Dad and Dadder sounds like a great movie idea. It's all dad jokes, all the way down. 11 months! Oh my gosh, honey, thank you. Crazy story, I put the 12-month subscriber badge in yesterday. That was weird. For sure. And the sequel can be Dad, Dadder, and Daddest with Danny DeVito as Daddest. Leader, hello. Finally something good to watch today. That's a lot of pressure on these shoulders, but I will do my best. It can be the documentary made by Netflix 20 years later about the making of Dad, Dadder, and Daddest. Yesterday I was talking with my principal about all the movies that are based on Hamlet. Lion King was the obvious one. Everyone knows that, but he blew my mind when he pointed out that the classic Canadian idiot comedy Strange Brew is a repackaging of Hamlet too. I don't think I've ever seen Strange Brew. So maybe we definitely should add that to our watch list, because I don't think I've even ever seen it. The Bob and Doug McKenzie movie? Have I seen it? Maybe I have seen it and I just don't remember. I don't think I have, though. Shocked in Scottish. Shocked. AB Coffee, hello. Exiled Faye, hello. She's the Man soccer movie with Amanda Bynes and Channing Tatum is a modern Twelfth Night. Yeah, there's a lot of Shakespeare. Also, I think 10 Things I Hate About You was The Taming of the Shrew. Or something like that. It was also a Shakespeare adaptation. Sorry guys, Lestat was my high school boyfriend and I just saw him again and it's all I can think about. Exiled Faye, you do not have to be sorry. Do all the gushing. How is everybody? How is your Friday? It is a holiday here in Canada, so Ghost Pepper is able to be with us, though I think he is working on D&D things. If this was QI, I'd get the buzzer for 10 Things I Hate About You being a retelling of The Taming of the Shrew. We are as one. Yes. Yeah, there's so many modern, like, retellings of Shakespeare that people don't even know, right? Because they've changed it sufficiently enough that people don't even know. Is shocked in Scottish when you make, this face and bagpipe sounds come out of your mouth? Wait. Peter, can you make bagpipe sounds? Is that a Scottish thing? That's exactly right, and it does that sound effect in bagpipes. Bagpipes are my favorite. Yo, I want to go back to Edinburgh just because I loved walking down the street at 8 in the morning with bagpipes playing in the background. That was like my life soundtrack. I've forgotten to eat breakfast. Exiled Faye, enjoy your breakfast. Breakfast, very important. Anyone can make a bagpipe noise if they stand on Lego at 4 a.m. That is true. Legos are the most jabbiest, stabbiest thing we've ever invented. Scottish people all have a third lung exclusively to make bagpipe noises. You heard it here. So as someone who is of Scottish heritage, do you have a vestial third lung? Like, has it shriveled? From disuse. He's in the kitchen right now. He literally is not hearing what I'm saying. Or is just not gonna respond. Or is gonna march in here and respond. I hear him. I hear Ghost Pepper in the kitchen. How are you guys? Last night was not the night I hoped it would be, so we won't talk of that. Instead of doing story number 17 of 22 stories in 2022, which is what I probably should be doing today, we're gonna look back at story number 16, which was called Unapproved Hedgehogs, and I loved it. And I decided that there was gonna be a part 2, and today is part 2. Today is gonna be the day that we finish this wild, crazy story. So background, this takes place in my space universe. I basically have a like sci-fi setting that's kind of the opposite of my Celestial Serenade. It's basically a galaxy that is eternally at war. And Domran lives there along with his daughter, Robin. And Domran runs a mercenary company called the White Dragons. And part of that mercenary company is the boy who is the center of this story. His name is Daniel. And he is dating Domran's daughter, which has had mixed results for him. And he's pretty sure that Domran hates him. Domran actually has like no opinion of him, but Daniel just believes that Domran like really hates him. And so every time Domran is around, he inadvertently shoves his foot like way down his throat. And it's it doesn't work out well. So the prompt for this one was character awakens to find hedgehogs in their room. And because Daniel lives on a spaceship and they have limited supplies, like they have to plan very carefully to make sure that everyone on board has the right amount of stuff for their journeys. They're not supposed to have pets without getting permission or like notifying the people who are in charge that there's going to be another mouth to feed. So Daniel woke up on what was supposed to be a relaxing day off, and he found a hedgehog in his bedroom. Welcome back, leader. And then he found another hedgehog in his kitchen and another one in his living room. And he panicked because he's not supposed to have hedgehogs and he doesn't want to get caught with them. And he gathered them all up into a little pot. And then Domran came to knock on the door, the big boss, the big man himself, the guy that Daniel thinks hates him already, to ask him for a favor if he would give up part of his day off to test some new power armor, and he would get a new day off later. And while he was there, Daniel was panicking because a hedgehog was sneaking out of his room behind the big boss's back. And also, Domran may have found his daughter's underwear hanging out in the mess of Daniel's room, which didn't go well. So after the big boss left, Daniel gathered up all of the hedgehogs and went to his girlfriend's room to panic. Their secret is that you're never okay. Wait, what? Full stop. What do you mean you're not okay, Ghost? What's happening? Do I have to come downstairs? Is there... Do you need an adult, Ghost Pepper? I don't think I can be your adult, but I can get you one on the phone. I did read the chat. I mean, are you okay, Ghost? Do you need something? Apparently you're being too weird for leader right now. I didn't think that could happen, but it did. Is silly some kind of code? Is it code for hungover? No, I tease. Ghost was out drinking with some friends. Ghost had a great night last night. He had like the opposite of my night last night, and he was out drinking with some friends and colleagues last night and had a really good time. I know you're not hungover. I was just giving you a hard time. It's my job as your wife. So anyway, second part of this story. So after Daniel almost had a heart attack because Domran was in his room at the same time as Unapproved Hedgehogs, he raced over to his girlfriend's room in hopes that she would help him with the hedgehog problem. And who else was in her room but her father was also there. and found out about the hedgehogs. And we had my favorite part, my favorite part of the whole story, which is where Daniel sticks his foot down his throat again, where Dameron says, I don't remember approving a request for hamsters. And Daniel says, they're not hamsters, sir. They're hedgehogs. And then Dameron deadpans him and says, does that make them approved, Daniel? Also, he said, they're not mine. I found them. And Dameron said, you found them in your room. Doesn't that make them yours? And then he admitted that one of the hedgehogs escaped his room. So basically, Daniel got told, find the other hedgehogs, the other hedgehog, the missing one, before your afternoon appointment to test the power armor. What he doesn't realize is that Robin has been playing a joke on him this whole time because the hedgehogs are mechanical, but he doesn't know that. He hasn't figured that out. So I'm going to do two more scenes. I have two more scenes planned for this story, which I'm greatly enjoying because it's just silly and fun. One of them is going to involve Dameron's boyfriend Crescent, and I think he's gonna say that it's a guinea pig instead of a hedgehog, and then Daniel's gonna be like, no, they're hedgehogs. Because most of these people, one, didn't grow up on Earth, and two, have lived in space most of their life, so they don't know what a hedgehog is. They barely know what a hamster or a guinea pig is. My inspiration for this story was very much The Trouble with Tribbles. If you've ever seen the original Star Trek episode Trouble with Tribbles. I'm not gonna go full, like, there are a million of them that fall on his head at the end. Daniel and his unapproved hedgehogs, right? When will he learn? If they're in his room, they belong to him. And they were not approved. Not okay. Also, what Daniel doesn't realize is that Dameron has been in on this joke the whole time. So, while Daniel is, like, silently having a heart attack, thinking that the captain is coming for his head, Dameron is actually silently laughing his head off because he knows that his daughter is just playing a joke on her boyfriend. He probably doesn't realize that Daniel, like, thinks that Dameron wants to murder him, but, it's one of those, like, comedy of errors things where, like, if Daniel was ever like, why do you hate me? Dameron would just be like, I don't hate you. What a weird thing to say. Well, that's right. Like, Daniel thinks that Dameron is, like, really stuck up and full of himself, and because in this universe, Dameron has a reputation for being a particular type of mercenary. And so Daniel heard a lot of stories about him and thought that he was really overblown, and then sort of kind of met and fell in love with his daughter, and so he doesn't know Dameron very well, and his idea of him is sort of tainted by his biases, his experience, his opinion with what, you know, his girlfriend's dad is really like. And then Daniel also did something really stupid. Basically, they do, in this mercenary company, they have, like, reviews and stuff, right? Performance reviews. And in order to rate, like, how the company is doing, instead of, like, trying to do it in the heat of battle, they do drills. And they do basically, like, fake little war game things. They basically have, like, a $10,000 laser tag system that they use to do these drills, and Daniel did something stupid and acted like a hotshot. So Dameron does have a low opinion of him, but not like a I hate you because you're dating my daughter opinion of him. So Daniel thinks that Dameron has it out for him because he did something stupid and also is dating his daughter. But actually, Dameron doesn't really care. Dameron's opinion is like, I do think he thinks that his daughter could do better than some stupid hotshot, but also he's like, whatever, my daughter gets to decide who she dates and what she does with her life, and I kind of don't have a say. So it's this weird comedy of errors of like, Daniel's not in perpetual trouble, but he thinks he's in perpetual trouble, and so he always acts like he has to get in Dameron's good graces and impress him, but in doing so, he just makes himself look awkward and foolish, and meanwhile, Dameron is just like, whatever, I've got a mercenary company to run. So it's fun reading these stories because they're just fun and silly. They probably won't, most of them probably won't ever have anything to do with the actual, like, novel story. But I wrote one on my blog that I really enjoyed. Again, it was another Torment Daniel story I really enjoyed writing because, Dameron in this universe was in a very bad accident when he was younger. And he actually has a significant number of, bionics, like, artificial implants and stuff that allow his limbs to function properly. And his right arm was actually amputated. So he still has his original right arm. It's been basically bionic-ified. But it comes off. Like, there's a actual, like, port in his arm that he can disable and actually take his arm off for when they need to, like, update its parts. And so I wrote this really funny short where essentially Robin had taken Dameron's arm so that she could upgrade it, so that she could fix it. And she was living with Daniel at the time, so Daniel came home and Robin's dad's arm was just on the table in their quarters, and he was like, excuse me, what is happening? Why is your father's arm on the kitchen table? So that was a really funny one to write too, because then he was like, oh, if I touch it, will Dameron know that I'm touching his arm? Just silly little futuristic humor. Anyway, I suppose we should do, I have to blow my nose. I apologize, I'm sniffly today. I guess we should do some actual writing. I'm gonna make a new document for this one though, because I'm gonna post it on the blog. I try to keep the blog ones short, so I'm gonna post it in 2 parts. Are you okay, AB Coffee? Do you need something? Is everything okay? Or is that an excited ah? What's happening? No! No! Tragedy! The cheese. Ghost, avert your eyes. Don't read the chat right now. If he was dying, he wouldn't just write ah. Oh my goodness. I can understand being upset by dropping cheese. Cheese is a very serious matter in this house. I can't eat it much anymore, but Ghost Pepper's a big cheese boy. I wrote a short story about dropping cheese like 5 years ago. Oh no! Did the cheese develop sentience and go to live on another planet? Let's get a fresh document. Fresh, clean document. Save as story 16 to 16 part 2 maybe? That's a horrible file name, but it's fine. I'll change it later. No, but it was very self-deprecating by the end. Nice. Nice. AB Coffee, how are you doing? Exiled Faye, how are you doing as well? Let us all know how you're doing. Everyone, let us know how you're doing. Ghost never answered about whether or not he has a vestigial lung from having Scottish heritage. Food now, all is good? Nice. What you eating for breakfast? Let's do our first sprint. I'm just trying to organize my brain. Let's do some clickying and clacking. Leftover grilled veggies from yesterday. Nice. We're thriving, prep-tembering, gotta return to the far side of Ganymede, don't you know? Can't just not go back. I'm glad you're thriving, AB Coffee. Alright, let's see if I can make my I almost said, let me see if I can make my word brain instead of make my brain word. So that's a sign that it's going well, I think. Neo, hey, how are you? What is up? 3 times 10 a.m. streams this week, fun for me. Yeah, I'm probably gonna do that again next week as well. The morning streams are easier for me because my life hasn't had time to explode yet. But I hope you're getting some. I hope you're getting some work done during the sprints, AB Coffee. It's Woof. Hello, Woof. How are you? What is up? We're tormenting Daniel some more because it's one of our favorite pastimes. Actually, I want to actually look up Hedgehog on Wikipedia because that's what Daniel is doing in this story. Whoops! Hedgehog. Diet. Omnivorous. They feed on insects, snails, frogs, toads, snakes, bird eggs, carrion, mushrooms, grassroots, berries, melons, and watermelons. Taking a quick break before it's back to it soon. Are you working from home today, or are you in the office? I have to put in a support ticket, and I hate doing that. Uh-oh. Is it just a, like, cumbersome process? Mix of writing and work, which usually is not the case all work. Well, I'm glad you're getting some Preptember in, AB Coffee. Hedgehogs are French. Wait, what? Hedgehogs are French? Every hedgehog lives in France? Is that what I'm hearing right now? They don't live anywhere else. It's a software problem, so I have to figure out what the problem is. Oh, fun times. Fun times. So the things that you eat are, insects, snails, frogs, toads, snakes, birds' eggs, carrion, mushrooms, grass roots, berries, melons, and watermelons? I mean, what do you think of them insects, Neo? Which are your favorite? Do you eat crickets? Ghost has eaten crickets. I'm numb to the feeling now. The response I used to dread the pain of filling the report and criteria, completing adjustment templates, submitting service and access requests from all facets of my peers. Now for my peers, all levels of technical communication embedded into my fingertips, but for me, I use Google. I am sure that Wolf has tried Google and is now at the point where Google has failed him. Oh, you like crickets, Neo? Demi, hello! How are you? What's up? Road trip? Where are you headed? Oh, you don't have to tell us, but where are you headed? How do we get these poor hedgehogs approved? Well, first, Daniel has to find the rogue hedgehog that escaped into the ship. There's a hedgehog on the loose, and he needs to find it. Across the country and back. Dang, Demi, have fun. That sounds like a heck of a trip. Is it are you like going for business, for pleasure, for visiting? I enjoy sightseeing in general. How's everyone doing? I'm doing pretty okay. Very busy, but looking forward to the weekend. It is still technically morning here. It's 11 here. I don't know about for everyone else. I know Wolf is in Middle Coast time, according to our friend Flutter. So you're leaving the best coast? He's gonna come back, Ghost Pepper. It's okay. It's moving, so it's not the most fun, but oh, okay. Oh, so you might not be coming back then. Are you leaving? Coming back. Okay. Ghost is like, no, don't go! Picking up some stuff to bring back with you. See, Ghost, it's fine. He's coming back to the best coast. It's where he's settled. Oh, Neo is in France. I don't think he'll mind me saying that because he already announced that he was French earlier in the stream. I like the idea that Ghost just panics every time someone we know is like, yeah, I'm moving back to the East Coast. And he's like, no, don't do it. Don't go. Baguette land. I want everyone to live on the West Coast, including Neo. Oh my goodness. Yeah, come move to British Columbia, Neo. You won't see any baguette beds. Bads? You won't see any baguette ads here. We don't have them. Baguette bads. Well, Demi, have a good trip. I hope you get to see lots of cool things, and take pictures and share them with us when you get back. Lots of pics, definitely. Nice. There are lots of francophones on the East Coast, but don't be tempted by that. Yeah, don't go to Quebec. Come to British Columbia. I don't know if there's a big difference between Canada and France culturally speaking. Possibly. I know exactly what you mean by cultural differences. I don't know. I wouldn't... But I've never lived in France, so maybe Ghost could better answer this question. I mean, I don't think you would have a problem fitting in with us, Neo. You obviously already fit in with us here in chat, but Ghost has actually, like, been to France, and I never actually have been. Do hedgehogs have tails? Hedgehogs have tails, right? Maybe they don't. Hedgehog tail? Do hedgehogs have a tail? They have a short tail. They do! They have a teeny itty bitty little tail. Maybe I'll just have him grab it by a foot, though. Oops. Alright, so we've located the hedgehog. Oh my goodness. What is going on? Anglo-Canadians would seem a lot like Americans from your perspective, probably. But less guns. I'd love to visit Canada and say hi. We'd love to have you, Neo. It would be awesome. We do live in a beautiful area, I have to say. I would agree that there's no major differences. It would be pretty subtle. Been to both Vancouver and Montreal, both gorgeous and amazing places in their own ways. Same. I would never want to live in Vancouver. I mean, having lived in Toronto, I don't think I know that big cities aren't for me, so I don't know that I would want to live in Vancouver. But there's lots of cool things in Vancouver to see and to experience. So it's definitely a good place to visit. Halo Banshee, hello! This time I'm not out for dinner so I can hear you. How are you? How was your dinner? It was beautiful before the Fire Nation attacked. Ghost is like, your face was beautiful before the Fire Nation attacked. Doing okay. It was nice dinner. Nice. So we did 765 words in that sprint. I was definitely a little bit distracted, but I do think I'm about halfway through this scene. I have to figure out how Domran's gonna get involved in this scene, because to me it's just hilarious that he just keeps showing up. Oh my goodness. Sorry, the Fire Nation comment made me laugh so hard I teared up a bit. Oh my goodness. Wolf, did you answer if you're working from home or in the office today? I don't know if I saw. Chat has moved so much since I home today. Nice, nice. I should show you guys, I've been working on the flesh part of Belle in the cross stitch. You guys anyone who comes to Flutter stream tonight will see this anyway, but I started working on the flesh, and I did the lightest flesh color, and so now she kind of looks a little bit terrifying. Because this is supposed to be her face. So it's like this really pretty spaghetti-armed lady and just this horrific skull face. Because her chin isn't there yet. Also, I don't know, looking at it in person, there's supposed to be like darker flesh color and lighter flesh color, but it all looks the same to me. I think you can just barely see some of the shading. I'm hoping it'll look better once I get the hair in there. But yeah, there's Belle's flesh. And I like too that right now it just looks like a perfectly normal person with like half a skull floating over it. Floating over where the neck is. You can see the shading? That's good. Like I said, I'm hoping that once I get it, once I get like her hair in, because you can kind of see where like one of her curls is supposed to be. Hopefully once I get the hair in, it'll look better. But right now, man, it just looks... I did this part last night right before I went to bed, and I was like, dude, I don't know. I don't know. I'm too familiar with Vancouver now to really enjoy it. I know it's a great city, but to me it's just a traffic jam. Yeah, well, that's one of the reasons I wouldn't want to live there, is because getting around in Vancouver is a bit of a pain in the dick. But, like, the aquarium is really cool. And, like, there's a lot... The botanical gardens are really cool. There's lots of really cool stuff there. There's beautiful parts to the city. The tree walk that we did was amazing. Like, fantastic. I don't know why I said it like that. It was great. But yeah, I wouldn't want to live there. I wouldn't want to drive there on a regular basis. Oh, you're trying to do the pepper pog? I have to actually load up Twitch. It's P-E-P, capital P-E-P-P-R, capital P-O-G. Pepper Pog. And, Ghost OK is GH0STP30, or 3 OK? I think maybe the OK is capitalized. GH0STP 3 capital OK. Yeah, Neo has to remember them from memory to get them to work. And then there's the wide GH 0 STP 3 OK that Woof really likes. There you go, Neo. Hopefully that helps. References. Yeah, so I think the Ghost OK one, you had it capitalized and it's just not capitalized. The wide one is the most attractive one. I mean, it lets you see more of his glorious face, right? Neo, I'm still impressed that you remember so many of them, like, for memory. I see what you're trying to do, though. I see what you're trying to do. I think we should have Pringles on my channel, too, right? Or is it Pringles? There we go. Mmm, Pringles. Delicious. It's okay, Exiled Faye. It's just Pringles. They're just delicious, delicious Pringles. They definitely are not suggestive of a penis. That's definitely not what's happening. We're definitely not making immature jokes with Pringles. It's just chips. Just delicious, delicious, phallic symbol chips, you know. Perfect. Oh boy, this is what I should have expected from a Friday, really. I might take a quick break because my coffee is cold, and then come back and do... I'm gonna be honest, I can't eat Pringles anymore. I used to love them when I was younger, but they don't... I don't know. Also, I'm lactose intolerant, and most of them have milk, so I can't eat them anyway, but, yeah, they're not as... Although I do remember when I used to eat them, it was hard to stop. Like, the whole once you pop, you just can't stop. It was hard to stop eating Pringles. They were definitely very boorish. They definitely don't hit like they used to. I loved them when I was a teenager. But nowadays they just don't do it for me. Cauliflumps really likes chips, exactly. I always feel it's a little bit weird when you do it with the really, really cute Cauliflumps one and the Pringles. My wife was watching a reality show and someone said they were single as a Pringle, and now that's all I can think of. So wait, do they have like a harem? If they're single as a Pringle and once you pop you just can't stop? That's like there's layers to unpack there. You've never eaten chips, Neo. I find that hard to believe. Or is it because instead of eating chips, you eat crickets? That's kind of like the show is like. Yeah, I can imagine. One of the most interesting things for us, I think, when we were in England is that they have a lot of the same chip flavors that we have here, and then they have, like, really crazy ones. To us, like, really crazy ones. Like, shrimp-flavored chips are, like, really popular in England. And, like, cheese and onion, things that we don't get here. Gonna make myself a bit of brekkie. Yum, yum. Enjoy, Ghost Pepper. I'm assuming he's gonna fry up some bacon because we have some in the fridge. I had dill pickle chips recently. Yeah, dill pickle's pretty popular here in Canada. And ketchup chips have always been a thing in Canada. I don't understand it, but ketchup chips and all dressed are really popular in Canada. I just don't think it's good to eat very salty things. I mean, it is true that you should not eat very salty things except in moderation, for sure. Ketchup chips have always been a thing in Canada, though. So it's not like you can't eat chips, though, right, Neo? Like, you could get chips if you wanted to. You just choose not to. You've just never felt the desire to eat the chips. Yeah, has no one ever been like, here, eat this, and shoved one in your face? We're dying to know. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure you could, like, I'm pretty sure you can buy chips in France. Maybe you guys just have better snacks, though. I think you have amazing self-control if you just never eat chips, because I'm a chip eater. I have to, when I'm eating chips, I have to, like, take a handful of chips out of the chip bag and, like, set aside a portion of them so that I don't eat, like, the whole bag in one sitting. Because, it's a danger. It's a danger when you're eating chips, especially if you're doing, like, chips and dip. You'll just be like, one more, and you just eat half the bag. I noticed too when we were in England, the chip bags are all small. They come in like, you buy a big bag of chips, but it's all small bags of chips because it's portions. Too ingrained in our culture to eat chips. It's blowing my mind to think that might not be the case everywhere. It blows my mind a little bit too because they're like the default serving size. A serving of chips is one bag. Yeah. I mean, they do that on purpose. You know what, too? A little bit of a rant, but I noticed when I was younger, you would get the normal size, like, chip bags, which are, like, this size, right? And then you would have the big size, which was the family size. They now sell this size as the family size. Like, what used to be a normal bag of chips is now family size. And it's like, bitch, that ain't gonna feed me, let alone my family. Shrinkflation, exactly. Like, they charge you the family size price for what was used to just be a regular size bag. Yeah, and then they have all the empty air to pad the chips. I noticed that, the, like, straight up, that we ordered a family size bag of Lay's, and it says, and it's a regular size bag and it says family size on it, and I was like, excuse me? Excuse you. That is not. And then I wonder too, I'm like has that just been going on? Like, someday you're gonna get a bag of chips this size and it's gonna be family size. Oreos are half as filled as they used to be. Double stuff is now the size. You know what though, AB Coffee? I don't like the filling in Oreos, so I kind of like that they don't put as much filling in. I would buy a bag of Oreos that was just the Oreo cookies and none of the filling. But still, like, yeah. I don't... It's like, do they think that people don't notice? Getting too zealous. Neo, what we're saying is you need to go buy a bag of chips, apparently, and eat a couple of them, or we will all die. That is some heresy. I know, I'm so weird. I like the Oreo cookie, but not the filling. But you know what, Leader? That means that I'm the perfect person to eat Oreos with, because I will give you all of my Oreo filling and you can give me all of your cookies. It's like a win-win situation. Then you'll have like triple the cream because I won't have any. I peel all mine off. I'm changing the music here. Hang on. Are we rioting because Neo never had chips, or because I don't like the cream in Oreos? One of them I support, one of them not so much. Hey, Zark. How are you? We're talking about the fact that Neo has never had chips, apparently. I think he's trolling us now, though, saying I've never eaten chips and never gone to a party. The fact that the family size chips are now just the size of a regular bag of chips, and they just say family size on them, and the fact that I don't like the cream in my Oreos, but we're also indignant about the fact that double stuff Oreos are now basically just what single stuff used to be. Holy crap! That is a lot of cream. This would be my least favorite type of Oreo right here. That almost looks like a marshmallow in the middle, though. That is crazy. That is crazy to me. Oh, no, I can see. I mean, we're on the Walmart site, so... I believe it. Yeah, well, it used to be that the double stuff was thicker than it is now. I mean, I buy single stuff Oreos because I don't like the cream, but... America the cookie. Listen, Oreos are one of the few cookies that I can still eat because they don't have dairy in them. They're dairy-free. So whatever they make that cream out of, it has no actual milk content at all. But I just like the taste of the Oreo cookies. I enjoy cream as much as the next guy, but damn. Yeah, that looks like they smushed a marshmallow between two Oreos. All right, I'm gonna take the promise break. I'm gonna run a couple of ads. Don't go anywhere, because we'll come back and we'll do another sprint. We'll find out what happens to these freaking hedgehogs. We have store brand knockoff Oreos that are Mexican hot chocolate, so the cookie part is like spiced chocolate. What? I need to try those. I'll be right back. I have returned. I informed Ghost about the Oreos while I was in the kitchen. Now I want Oreos, just not that violently American one. Oh, man. But Exiled Faye, do you like the cream better or the cookie better? Or are you one of the rare people who likes the full package? I don't know. I don't feel like I don't know anyone who is like, yeah, I like Oreos in their complete sandwich form. Oh, are you gonna be the one, Exiled Faye, who's like, I like an even amount of cream to cookie? Because I like take the cream off and just eat the cookies. Exiled Faye, you're the chosen one. Oh no, the timer started without me. We're not ready for that yet. It's an Oreo. It has to have both parts. That's fair. You know what? That's fair. It was created to have both parts. Shinobi, or Zark, you also like the full balanced Oreo? You guys are like surrounded by the aura of light to lead the way. Balance in the force. I would eat an entire bag of just the cookies, not gonna lie. Apparently what I should do is just take all the cream out of my Oreos and send them to Demi. And then he can just make a giant Oreo cookie. I would scoop stuffed cream out of a jar. You know, it's interesting that they don't really have, like, you can't just buy, like, the Oreo cream. You get the sweetness of the cream with the strong chocolate flavor of the cookie. Makes sense. We had, not exactly the same as the filling of an Oreo, but we always had, that, like, marshmallow fluff in a jar in our house when I was a kid, because my mom really liked it. And she would make a sandwich that she called a fluffernutter, which was the marshmallow and peanut butter. It's super sweet. Like, it's very, very sweet. You've had them, Zark? Ghost is offended by the idea of their existence. He gets so mad when we talk about that marshmallow fluff. Because he's just like, no. They are pretty good, though. I wouldn't eat them. We ate them a little too often when I was younger because we ate them for, like, lunch. I would say that they're good for a treat, everyone. Now, everyone is allowed to have their opinion? Yes. Peak American food? Totally. I definitely think we ate them too often. Like, we would just have them for lunch. I think they make a better, like, treat, like a dessert or something. But yeah, I still remember when we showed Ghost that marshmallow fluff for the first time, and he was like, what is this? What are you eating? All right, I'm gonna turn the timer back on, and I have a plan for this poor little hedgehog. You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it, Zark. Sweet, sweet clicky clackin'. Angel Faye. I'm doing pretty good. How are you? I've realized why I enjoy the sound of keyboards now. Ooh, why is that, Zark? Angel Faye, what are you up to? How's it going? It reminds me of working in computer offices and kind of puts me in a focus it's time to work mindset. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Like, everyone's just kind of doing their work and you've got this, like, ambient noise of the clicky-clacky. Tomorrow I'm going to start my outline. Nice! That's awesome. Didn't you say we're going to stream as well, Angel Faye? Is that happening tomorrow? It kind of is, you know, that, like... I also think that those kinds of offices are like a dying breed too, because most places aren't laid out like that anymore. Was supposed to do today too, but I forgot. Oh no! Tomorrow I'll stream. I'll keep an eye out for it. I'll try and drop by. I usually just chill on Saturday mornings, finish up some things, have some coffee, and do some crafting. Welcome back, Neo. So I'd love to have your stream on in the background while that's happening. Also, good luck with the outline. The presentation you wrote was canceled because of COVID, not rescheduled. They just canceled it. Stream writing, cover designs, and more. Nice. I'll have to come watch your cover design streams, Angel Faye. I've done a few. I think mine are very clunky because I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'd love to see you work on some cover designs. Yeah, Neil, I hope they'll use it. I hope they'll use it later. I hope it, like, I'm sure the work won't go to waste. The dude who does the presentation has COVID, so apparently only he can use it. That's stupid. He owns the he owns it even though you wrote it? I'm sure he'll do it at some point. Hey, Fox Writer! Rolls into chat, throws some character trauma around, then flees. What kind of character trauma are we throwing around today, Fox Writer? I'll show tomorrow the one I've started. I use Photoshop. Nice! That's awesome, Angel Faye. I look forward to it. It does sound a bit like bullshit, Neo. Must be off. Good luck, Demi, on the drive. I hope it is smooth. Hannah, hello. Thank you for the hydrate. How are you? Childhood trauma. Oh boy, that one always has lingering effects. How are you, Fox Writer? What are you up to today? Hey, I'm doing pretty good. It's, last night was a rough night, so today I'm just writing something stupid silly that has nothing to do with anything else. It's just for fun to get the cobwebs out, and it feels pretty nice. But if the company sells it, they give you a percent. Well, that's good. It's definitely shaking off some of the ick from last night, Hannah, for sure. I tried to do a me night last night, and there was just this whole kerfuffle with skip the dishes, which is where I was ordering from, and like chasing down the food and just not being able to get anything to go right. And so this morning I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna do something that's purely fun and whatever. Struggling to finish this chapter before I have to release it tomorrow. It's an arbitrary deadline I've set myself and no one is actually going to care. I mean, I get that. You know, you want to keep your deadlines. Oh my gosh, I'll tell you guys the whole story at the break. It was partially my fault, but it was this huge thing. Aside from last night, I've been pretty good. Work is going pretty good. Like, the new novel's coming along, but last night was just stress and a half. Hey, Bird of Inferno, how are you? Procrastinating sounds like the best thing to do on a Friday morning. Almost said Saturday. That's where my brain is. I'm doing pretty good. Like I said, I'm just writing something super silly today, just sort of recovering from a rough night last night. I want to own 100% of my work. I have to be an independent worker, but working for a company gives you more stability. I mean, that's 100% true, Neo. I mean, it's awesome that you get to write stuff for your job, but it does suck that you don't necessarily have the rights to it. But you still get paid whether or not he uses the presentation, right? I have a feeling he'll use it at some point. One of my favorite writing refreshers is writing something super silly and self-indulgent. That is exactly what we are doing today. I did all the hard work earlier in the week. I stuck to my outline. I stuck to my schedule. And today I'm just like, screw it. We're writing about hedgehogs. Hedgehogs on a spaceship. It's our mini Trouble with Tribbles tribute. That is the end of this scene, so let me grab my scene break. We're gonna do the last scene. I am ultra enjoying this. Just tormenting this particular character is so fun. Even if they don't use it, I'm getting paid. If the company sells it to another company or an external thing like the government, I have 35% is pretty decent. But that's, like you said, that's the benefit of working for a company, is that if they don't use it, you still get paid, right? It's not a, oh, I did all this work and now I'm not going to get paid situation. Whereas if you were working for yourself, or if you were just on contract or whatever, something like that might cause you to be out the money and out the time, right? So it's a trade-off. And I understand wanting that stability. Like, it's, especially in the world today, like, it's good to have a steady paycheck. I'm gonna sneeze. Oh! Whoops. Thank you for the bless, Zark. Hey, Supernatural! Whose name is Castile. Are you talking about someone in chat? Because we had someone pop in yesterday who does have the name Castile. Oh my goodness. So I promised I would tell you guys the story of last night. So before I even look at my word counts. So last night, Ghost was going out for just a night of drinks and appies at a local bar with a bunch of his coworkers. This is something that they haven't been able to do in like 3 years because of COVID. So he was really excited, and I was like, great, I'll just order myself something to eat, and I'll just watch YouTube, and I'll do crafts. I'll work on my cross stitch. It'll be super chill. And so I was working on something yesterday afternoon after stream, which is for a book release hopefully happening in October. And I was falling behind on it because, of course, I mean, this happens. And so I was like, fine, I can work late tonight. It's no big deal. And so finally I was like, I guess it's getting on towards where I should order dinner because, you know, otherwise I might forget to eat, or I'm going to end up eating super late or whatever. So I went to go on Skip the Dishes, which is the Canadian version, I think, of like Grubhub. I don't think we have Grubhub here, but we have Skip the Dishes and we have DoorDash. And Skip the Dishes is usually the better of the two. So I went on Skip the Dishes to order my food because I can't actually drive. So even though the car was here, like I couldn't go anywhere to pick anything up. I needed to order delivery. So I went to order the food that I had decided I wanted, and the restaurant was closed on Skip the Dishes, which I guess this is something that some restaurants do sometimes, is like they'll mark themselves as closed if they get really busy, which I get. But it can be frustrating knowing that the restaurant is open, that I can confirm, like, in our local thing that the restaurant is open, but I can't order from there. So I had to, like, I'm a very indecisive person. It takes me a while to decide what I want to eat. So I was scrolling through other restaurants in the area, trying to decide what I wanted to eat. And I knew that if I waited a while, like, probably that restaurant would reopen and I could probably order from there. But also I was like, the other places that I want to order from, it's getting late and they're going to close soon. And I was like, I should just order something because otherwise I'm not going to get any food. But there's options on Skip the Dishes. You can order for, like, as soon as possible, so that, like, as soon as the order is ready, they'll bring it to you. Or you can order for a specific time period. I should probably eat while I can. Exactly. And I had a sort of panic moment where I was like, okay, I need to order food because the work isn't getting done in time and the restaurant's not coming back online, so I better just eat something. Anything. But because there's an option, like, you can order ahead, I had been clicking through on the restaurant that was closed. I had been clicking through to see if it would be open at a later time. Just, like, to see if it had marked itself, like, with hours, but it hadn't. They had just, like, closed so that you couldn't do orders, even ahead of time orders. But I forgot to check and see that I hadn't turned it back to the as soon as possible time option. So I ordered food for today, for this evening, instead of yesterday evening. And I was like, shit, that doesn't help me. And there was no option on the app to change the time of the pickup after I paid. Like, literally, I realized as it was paying on the credit card, and I tried to hit cancel, but it had already gone through. So I looked, and there was no way to set it to that time. So I instantly tried to get on their chat thing. But there was, like, a queue of, like, 130 people. Exactly, Zark. I was like, fuck me running. What did I do? So I tried to get on their chat, because they don't have a phone number that you can call. So I tried to get on their chat, but there was a queue of, like, 130 people. And I didn't know how long that was going to take, so I was like, all right, I'll just go reorder the same food for now, and then ask them to cancel the extraneous order, right? I was like, that makes perfect sense, right? I'll just reorder the same exact thing from the same exact restaurant at the proper time and just tell them to cancel the other one. But the new order didn't go through properly. It got stuck on the part where the restaurant is supposed to confirm the order. I reordered before canceling, yes, because I was in a queue, right? And I didn't know. Like, honestly, putting an extra charge on my credit card is not that necessarily big a deal. Like, I am able to go ahead and do that because, like, it would be fine, right? I know that the money would be coming back. But the second order didn't go through properly. So I finally got through the queue on the chat, and I was like, here's what happened. And the guy was like, I just want you to cancel one of the orders and make sure one of the orders is coming now. Because even though it was stuck on the confirming, I couldn't cancel it because it had already charged my credit card. So at this point, I had charged my credit card twice. I had no actual food orders coming. It was getting late, and I knew the restaurant was going to close. And I was like, can you just fix it? So they instantly refunded me for the wrong one, which great, like perfect. So I knew that was taken care of. There was only one order, and it was supposed to be happening now, but it was, like, stuck in, it wasn't displaying properly. So when you order from Skip the Dishes, it usually shows a time frame of, like, how long it's gonna take. Even if it's, like, 40 to 50 minutes, right? This one was just showing a progress bar line and saying your order will be matched with the courier at some later time. So I knew in my heart of hearts that order was not going to go through. That I was not going to get food. And at that point, I was very hungry because it was like an hour past when we usually eat. Schrodinger's time frame, exactly. So I knew, I was like, first of all, I was super hungry. My work still wasn't done that I was trying to do for the book release, because I was faffing around trying to get fucking dinner to be delivered. It was at the point where, like, things were starting to close. I didn't have a way, again, I couldn't just get in my car and go somewhere. The mother arrived early with groceries and they had to help unload. What did I miss? Oh, okay. So short version of the story of my night last night. I tried to, I'm getting to that part, Ghost. I tried to order myself dinner. I accidentally ordered for the wrong day. Tried to reorder so I could get food while I was waiting for the first order to be canceled, and it just got stuck in, like, limbo. So I'm super hungry. My work's not done. I'm panicking because I don't know how I'm... Like, we did not have food in the house that I could just heat up and eat. I was like, it's gonna be cold cereal for dinner tonight. So I texted Ghost. Well, I called Ghost first. Because I didn't know what else to do. And I was like, I'm not gonna get food, so I'll just ask him to bring home food. And even if it's, like, midnight, it's... At least I would get to eat something, right? So I called him and he said to me, hey Megan, what's your favorite dragon color? So I'm super stressed out, and that's how my husband greets me on the phone. And I was like, I don't know how to respond to this. Because I thought I was on speakerphone also. So I was like, I have to talk to you about something. Am I on speakerphone? And he was like, no, you're not. That's true. I did eventually answer that my favorite dragon color is blue. It was answered, very important thing. It eventually happened. But so I tried to explain that I was like, I don't think my food is going to come. Can you bring me something? And he was like, it's going to be super late. And I was like, I know, but I don't know what else to do. And I was trying not to tell the whole story at that point because he was out having fun with friends. And I was just trying to figure out how to eat something at some point. And so we hung up from that phone call, and then he texted me back. There's like this whole, I won't like read all the text, but there's this whole huge conversation, where he was basically like, he was like, we're gonna come get you. Some of us are gonna split off from the rest, and we're gonna come pick you up. And then we'll get you some food. And that was when I texted him, I'm sitting here crying right now. I thought our credit card must have been stolen because it was on our online banking just the day before. And we had that. Yeah, I did. I'm not even to the part where I texted you that the credit card was overcharged. Nobody picked me up. Ghost was saying a bunch of us are going to leave the party and come pick you up. And I was like, and I literally texted him because he was like, would you like us to pick you up and take you out somewhere else? Or should I just bring you something? And my response was, I'm sitting here crying right now, which I'm sure was not, look, I was bawling my eyes out. I didn't want to go like drinking with people while I was sitting there in tears. My biggest regret is this is too long for a Twitch clip. This was like a 2-hour saga. I'm not even kidding. So at this point, he was like, the crew wants to come and get you. Cause I was like, don't leave your party on my account. And he was like, no, everyone wants to come hang out with you. And that was when I said, I fucked up. This is my fault because it was my fault. And then I asked him if he could check the Skip the Dishes, because when I contacted Skip the Dishes the second time, they were like, track it with the app if it's not working on your computer. So he checked it, and he was like, no, there's nothing. And he was like, we'll just come get you. And I was like, no, I don't know what to do. Skip the Dishes said that there's food coming. I overcharged the credit card. And I just didn't, I was like, if he comes and gets me and then the food gets here and then it's wasted and there's like an overcharge on your credit card, Jay Chili wanted to send you. He did. Also, hey Meg, how are you? I went into Jay Chili's chat because I was frustrated and I was just like, skip the dishes is like, I messed up and skip the dishes is not giving me food. And he instantly was like, we're gonna make Megan some microwaved hot dogs. And he was like, do you need us to yell at somebody? Give us their phone number. We'll call live on stream and yell at them. Like, he was super batting in my corner. So that was the point where I said to Ghost, the credit card is overcharged. And he was just like, what? Like, he basically texted me like, the credit card is overcharged? So I had to call him back and tell him the whole story. Because I was like, I can't explain this through text. It's too convoluted. So I called him back again and explained the whole situation. And he was like, we don't mind leaving and coming to get you. We want to go drink somewhere else anyway. So at this point, I had no idea what to do. None of my work for the night was done. I was panicking because I didn't know if I should stay and wait for Schrodinger's food that I sincerely believed was never going to come, or if I should just let my husband come pick me out and say fuck it and go drink. I did not end up hanging out with the boys. I know fully that they would have come picked me up and we could have gone out drinking and I could have just said fuck it and whatever. And we would have figured it out in the morning. And I really appreciate that like the crew were like, hey, let's just go hang out with Megan. But I felt like Ghost was at a thing that was for him and I was wrecking it. And I didn't want him to leave and come and get me because I felt like that would like ruin this event that he's waited like 3 years to have. So out of desperation at this point to just find out whether or not there was actual food coming, I called the restaurant that I ordered from. And they had to have been super busy because it rung like 5 times before the phone was answered. And so I said to this poor woman on the phone, I was like, I have the stupidest question, but can you see if you have skip the dishes orders? Because I assumed that they wouldn't even be able to track that. And I expected her to be like, I can't help you. Pie, what are you doing? Let's do the first 2 hydrates. What is happening, Pie? What are you doing? We wanted to leave anyway because my big boss was being awkward and all the other high school teachers were leaving. Elementary teachers are great people, but they're not my vibe. I mean, I didn't know that. I just thought that I was wrecking the party. Let's do, how many of them are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's do the first 3 now, and then I'll talk a bit and do 4 more. 1, 2, 3. The elementary teachers I work with, not elementary teachers in general. No. I think people understand. So yeah, out of desperation, I called the restaurant fully expecting her to just be like, I can't help you. This is such relatable anxiety and God bless both of you. I'm so telling the story now, it sounds hilarious, but while it was happening, I was just overwhelmed. So I said to her, I was like, can you see if you have a skip the dishes order? And she's like, yeah, actually, because we ring them up manually. So I was like, great. She was like, give me the last 4 numbers of the ticket and I'll see if we have it in our system. She was gone for a solid 3 minutes. Like, I fully expected her to come back and be like, I don't know what you're talking about. This order doesn't exist, because I was on hold for so long. But she came back and she was like, yeah, I found it. We're making it for you right now. So I was like, okay, the order exists. It's gonna come. I called Ghost back. I was like, we found the food. It's gonna happen. Enjoy your party. About 10 minutes after I called the restaurant, the skip the dishes order started tracking the way it's supposed to, saying that Red Robin was making, I ordered from Red Robin, by the way, saying that Red Robin was making my order and that it was 33 minutes. And this was an hour and like 15 minutes after I originally ordered, and it was showing a half an hour. I very firmly believe that whatever Skip the Dishes did when they moved the time slot, they didn't actually confirm it with the restaurant. So I think that what happened was I called the restaurant, they found the ticket in the system, realized that it wasn't actually occurring, and put it into their system so that it actually triggered the Skip the Dishes thing to go. I very firmly believe that if I had not called that restaurant, I never would have seen that food. It would still be tracking to this day, just saying a courier will be assigned at a later time. Yeah, Red Robin gets pretty packed, and I felt so bad calling that restaurant. I was like, this woman has 50 things to do, and she doesn't need to deal with me. But she was so sweet on the phone. She was like, we're making your order right now. It'll be assigned to a courier. It'll get to you. And I was like, bless you. You're the most helpful person I've spoken to all night. Right? And so I contacted Ghost back, and I was like, they found the food. Just do your thing. I'll get to eat at some point. My food got here at 8:30. I tried ordering it at like 10 to 7. And it got here, I actually think it was earlier than that. I think I started trying to order at like around like 6:40. And it got here at 8:30, like 8:35. And I was finally able to just eat. And at that point, I like didn't even care because I was like, whatever, I'm just so starving. And also because Ghost is actually the one who is tied to our Skip the Dishes account, he gets the text when my food arrives. So he texted me to say, your food arrived. So yeah, so I finally was able to eat, and I had forgotten that when I ordered the food, I ordered myself a dessert of 4 donuts. And I was like, thank fuck that I ordered donuts. I past me did not expect to have a very stressful night, but there were donuts in my order. So I ate my initial dinner and I set the donuts aside. I got my work finished as I could reasonably get it and still have time to not think about work for part of the evening. I ate my food, I got my work finished, I reheated those donuts. And I left them aside so that I could reheat them and just enjoy them. Like, I heated them up at like 10:30, and I just turned off my brain, and I just ate donuts dipped in caramel and chocolate sauce, and it was amazing. That was pretty much how it was, Zark. Not gonna lie. It was pretty much like... So that was the story. That is the story of my night last night. That's what happened. It was this whole shitstorm of I fell behind in my work and I was struggling to hit my deadline for this book release. And so I was frustrated about that. I panicked about not being able to order food at all. I basically went through like all the stages because there was, you know, denial, and then there was anger, and then there was acceptance that I just wasn't going to get to eat until like 10:30. The next time we're in a voice call, ask me about the burrito incident. Uh-oh. I will do that, Zark. I will do that. So yeah, it was just this whole combination of if it had just been the food and I hadn't been panicking about like 3 other things going on already, it would have been fine. I would have handled the situation much better. Did you swallow a burrito whole and then poop it out whole? You don't have to answer that question, but please answer that question. Oh, it was worse than that? Hang on, I gotta blow my nose. So yeah, it was just this whole... It was just this whole, like, I had a million things going on, and I had a million things going wrong at the same time. And because it felt like everything was just, like, falling down around my ankles, I was panicking harder. And, like... I still don't think that just trying to resubmit the order was a bad call, because theoretically it should have worked. It should have just gone through, and it should have been fine. But for whatever reason, the system stuttered and it just didn't. And skip the dishes was just not helpful. I went through their help queue like twice. So long story short, I made my life miserable by accident. I probably should have when Ghost messaged me and was like, we want to come pick you up, I probably should have just said fuck it and gone out and just got smashed. But I felt like I was intruding on a thing that was his. Later, Exiled Faye, enjoy your nap. Thank you so much for hanging out, listening to my crazy story. We're gonna do a quick break here in a minute, and then I think I have 4 more hydrates to do, and then we'll do another sprint and hopefully finish off this story. But yeah, it was, and even Ghost, I think Ghost is just now hearing like the full expanded version of everything that happened, because I was trying to keep it brief on the phone with him last night because, hey Marathon, because I didn't want him to like feel like he had to worry about other things while he was out having a good time. And so it was basically just this whole, at some point I need to figure out how to eat, but also yeah, it was a lot at the time. So having a morning to just be like, whatever, let's write about mechanical hedgehogs and a guy panicking because he can't find them anywhere. And he thinks he's in massive trouble, even though he's just being pranked. And it feels super nice. It feels super relaxing after some of the other stuff. And then, like I said, I did finally get to some crafting last night, and I did the uncanny skull of Belle. Which will haunt my nightmares. So that's it. That's the story. I think we started here in the sprint. So we did 858 words in the sprint. Not bad. Considering I swoopy swapped scenes. And now you know. Now you guys know that, like, even though I look calm and collected whenever I'm on stream, there's this roiling anxiety beneath everything that I do. I don't make decisions well. I probably could have benefited from having Ghost make decisions for me last night, but he wasn't around, and I had to do it all myself, and it was just a cascade of failures. But here we are. I was successfully able to eat eventually. I had donuts that were really good. I heated them back up in the oven and I dipped them in caramel and chocolate sauce, and they were amazing and super relaxing. I appreciate myself for having thought of ordering them, because by the time they arrived, I completely forgot that I ordered donuts. And I was like, oh yeah, donuts. I've learned to always check what time I ordered for when I use Skip the Dishes from now on. And apparently this morning I learned not to message my husband and say that the credit card was overcharged, because then he'll think something bad happened. I just meant, like, I didn't mean like overcharged, like the bank was rejecting it overcharged. I more meant it was, I charged it more than I meant to. This is why talking through text isn't always the best, because, hey Moose, how are you? Because you try to do shorthand and then your husband thinks your credit card was stolen. Like I said, I'm gonna take a quick break. We've got some hydrates in the queue that I gotta do for Pi, which, by the way, Pi, how are you? What are you up to? And then we're gonna finish off this cute little silly thing that we're writing. Cause then I got a book release thing to finish this afternoon, hopefully, knock on wood, it goes better than yesterday. So I'll be right back. Whoops, wrong one. I'm back. So yeah, that was also Ghost's first time hearing that whole sort of story as well. And I have to say, Ghost, or not Ghost, Jay Chili was such a sweetheart last night when I went into his chat and was just lamenting. And he was like, I'm putting on my apron, I'm gonna make you some glizzies, and he was like, we need to get you some food. So, yeah. Which, it did help. It did help to have someone who was trying to soothe me. For anyone who hasn't, or who wasn't here earlier in the stream, we're kind of cheating a little bit on the 22 stories in 2022. I'm doing a part 2 to story 16. We basically had written this little cute, sweet scene where Daniel, the character whose perspective we're writing from, he lives in a spaceship. And he's not supposed to have pets that the big boss doesn't know about because closed system, carefully prepared supply stock. And he woke up on his day off and found hedgehogs in his room. So he panicked. And he tried to hide them from the captain, but he found out about them. And now he is collecting the rogue hedgehogs, of which there turned out to be more than he expected. And now he has finally caught the last one, and he is, unbeknownst to him, is about to find out that this has been a whole big prank that his girlfriend actually put together. So he's not as in trouble as he thought he was. Also, we owe Pi 4 more hydrates, so let's do those quick. And then we'll start the timer. Please tell me that he loses his shit because that's so mean. I don't know. We haven't written that part yet. I think that when Robin, because they're not real hedgehogs, they're mechanical hedgehogs. And so, because Robin is a tinkerer and she builds things, she builds mechanical things and hey Vinyl, how are you? And so, she wanted to see how lifelike they were. So she thought, I'll just slip a few of them into Daniel's room and he'll see them and they'll be super cute and it won't be a big deal, right? Because they're not for real hedgehogs. But because Daniel lives in this perpetual state of fear that he's somehow pissing off Robin's dad, who is his big boss, just getting ready to model for some inventory pics. Nice! Vinyl, enjoy. The writing is going well. We're just having some fun. It was a small prank that exploded. Exactly. And so because Daniel is like, oh no, I have to impress the big boss, aka my girlfriend's dad, he like completely misread the situation, didn't notice that the hedgehogs are mechanical. And so he thinks he's in trouble. No one has actually told him that he's in trouble. He has conflated Damarin's words with, you better do this thing or you're in trouble. And actually, I think Damarin's going to be the one that's like, okay, we need to stop this prank because I actually need to get real work done. So Daniel's not going to be in any actual trouble. So he's me. Oh no, Fox Rider. I mean, I am very Daniel too. I would also live in perpetual fear that I was somehow, because Damarin is very I don't want to say unemotive, but like his expressions don't express emotion on his face. So like whatever he's saying, he kind of looks like he's a statue that's just talking. And so I think Daniel's interpretation of that is he hates me, he doesn't like me, I'm making him mad, even though like he's not. Like Damarin doesn't care, and Damarin in this case knows about the hedgehogs, and is maybe having a little bit of fun fucking with his daughter's boyfriend, but also, even if they were real hedgehogs, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Anxiety mixed with resting bitch face. Exactly. So Daniel's kind of doing this to himself a little bit, kind of like me and my dinner last night. I did it all to myself, but I don't know exactly how he's gonna react to the prank reveal, especially because Damarin's gonna be there. And he just lives in this perpetual state of thinking that everything he says pisses Damarin off. I didn't do all 4 of the hydrates. I think I only did 1. 2. 3. And the last one. I think I would cry too, Fox, in all honesty, if it was me. My suspicion is that Daniel will be so relieved that he's not actually in trouble that he'll just kind of... Also, he's, like, madly in love with this woman and she can do no wrong in his eyes, so he'll just be like, you know, whatever, it was a thing. I mean, on the positive side for Daniel, he's already been promised a new day off because he agreed to do the captain a favor, and he was like, if you do this for me, then I will make sure you get another day off on another day. So he's running around doing all this panicky stuff on his day off, but he's gonna get an actual day off. So it's like, no harm, no foul in the end, just, you know, a couple hours of sheer terror. And also asked for the next 3 days off, so I don't know how effective that would be. Yeah, I would definitely need a drink and to curl up under the covers for a couple hours. But I don't know why, but I like tormenting this character because he just really misreads a lot of other people in the story, and so it's really easy to send him down these like rabbit holes. But he's actually a very sweet, like, nice person at the end of the day. It's kind of like tormenting yourself. It is, but also, like, I find it so amusing that it's just fun to write, if that makes sense. It's like stress relief. He's a character that I can pick on because I ultimately know that things work out for him in the end. But he's very much, it's a very interesting relationship dynamic between Daniel and Robin, because Robin is the kind of woman who knows exactly what she wants. She basically embodies a lot of... It's kind of ironic that Daniel hates Damarin and thinks Damarin hates him, because Robin shares a lot of her father's personality traits in that she can be very stubborn. She's very confident, very set in her ways, and, you know, very straightforward, will always say exactly what she thinks, even if it's not, like, the nicest thing. But in Robin, he sees all these traits as being good things, and in Damarin, he kind of sees them as being bad things because he doesn't know him well enough to actually, like, read his behavior. So again, it's just kind of this little perfect storm of like a comedy of misread errors. But I like this character. It works out for him in the end. I'm pretty sure... I haven't written this novel series yet, but I'm pretty sure Daniel and Robin end up getting together and having, like, 6 kids. So I'm pretty sure it works out for him in the end. There's the whole, this is the father of the woman I love and I have to be perfect for him so he approves of me. Yes, exactly. And I mentioned this earlier, but Daniel did something kind of stupid at one point that Damarin really didn't like made Damarin dislike him, not as much as he thinks, but dislike him slightly. And so he's constantly sort of living in a state of trying to make up for that error in judgment, which he definitely has. Like, he doesn't realize that Damarin is like ambivalent towards, like, he doesn't care. He's fine with the fact that Daniel and Robin are dating, but you know, like you said, Daniel's like, I gotta make him like me. He's my boss and my future father-in-law. Meanwhile, even if Damarin thinks Robin can do better, he always respects her decisions. So it's like, Daniel does all this to himself. He chases his own tail to try and get approval that he doesn't actually need. Because Damarin is definitely one of those, like, she might be my daughter, but it's her life. She makes all her own decisions kind of dads. He might get out his shotgun and point it at the boyfriend and say, you better not hurt her, but he would never actually, like, there would be no bullets in the gun, essentially. It would be an empty threat kind of thing. I feel you, Fox. I'm the same way. I just kind of live in a perpetual state of everyone hates me. How do I make anybody like me? All right, I'm gonna do the last round. This will hopefully be the last round of Clicky Clacks, because I don't think there's much more to this story. But it has been so fun hanging out and chatting with you guys. So much less stressful than my night last night. All right, 20 more minutes of Clicky Clackies. It's that fun childhood trauma from earlier. Oh no! Do you want to tell us what your character is going through, Fox? You don't have to, but you can. It's been a good time. Been listening and playing Disney Dreamlight Valley. Nice! That's awesome, Bird of Inferno. I hope it's going well. Oh my goodness. Where did I stop? All right. He's sitting in front of a 20-man council retelling about how he was almost killed like 3 times by monsters that do not exist, only for the woman who saved him to be told, it's your mess, fix it. And when he defends her, one of the council members tries to physically impose him like every bully ever. Oh no! Standing in front of 20 people and having to frankly and honestly say something about my life is my nightmare. That terrifies the hell out of me. Like, the bravery of just being able to speak in that situation and stand up for someone else, like, that's, first of all, bravery. Second of all, I feel his pain. Whoops. I forgot who I was writing about for a hot second there. Back to beta reading. Enjoy Bird of Inferno. Especially since he found out after his near death that he himself is actually a dragon. Uh-oh. He's been a dragon the whole time and didn't realize it? That would actually be my dream, realizing that I was a dragon. Well, maybe. I guess maybe I should ask how dragons are in this world. Maybe it's not a good thing in this world. Not so much because young dragons are usually hunted down and killed by poachers. Oh no, for their bits and bobs, and they're pretty close to extinct. That does suck. He's basically left to flounder to figure out how to control his anger issues. Oh no, this poor boy. I want to just give him all the hugs. He's like 30, which makes it all so much worse. Oh no! Oh my goodness. I still just want to give him all the hugs. Why can I suddenly not... There we go. Why can I suddenly not remember how this word is spelled? I've reached the part where my brain just doesn't want to fully type words anymore. I know I'm just writing straight past the end of the timer, but I'm basically done with this, so I'm just gonna write the last few paragraphs, and then we'll do a raid. No raid, only writing. Unfortunately, I do need to eat some food at some point. Otherwise, I would just keep going ad infinitum. And I have to do some book release prep that I actually can't do on stream, so... I feel you, Fox. I wish I could just hang out with you guys all day. I will be back on Flutterdye's channel this evening for some crafting, though, to... hopefully add more to this face so it doesn't look as creepy as it does right now. It really does look, it's very bizarre. I do cross stitch. I haven't done it in a while. I just sort of got back into it. This is a Beauty and the Beast one for my friend Flutter. I can't get over, first of all, the fact that it looks like Belle has spaghetti arms, because her arms are fully finished. But also, I did all of one of the flesh colors, and I'm starting to go back and fill in the darker color. You might be able to see, like, a little bit of the shading, like, along the bottom. and I haven't filled in her like chin yet, and so it just looks like like half a skull floating over her neck, and I'm like, Belle, I don't know. I don't know about these. All right, there we go. I know I basically I basically wrote the last 183 words post sprint, but it wasn't worth doing another whole sprint just for that. I think we stopped at I think I stopped here. There were 6 in all. So another 1,341 at the end there. For a total of 2,964. I'm just really happy with this because it was so much fun to write. Just a nice little palette cleanser, stress-free part 2 of a story we started on stream before. I don't know if that will end up counting as one of the 22. It might end up being number 17 of the 22 stories. I had only ever picked 21 prompts, so that might end up being the last one. Or I might try to fit in another 22. We'll just see how much time is left in the year. I mean, it will go up separately than the first part on the blog, so technicality, but I'll figure that out later. My chapter is currently 4,000 words long again. That's awesome, though, Foxrider. I tend to write long chapters, too, in all honesty. It'll end up being close to 5K. Nice! I usually aim for between 2,500 and 3,500 words for a chapter, but I've had chapters that have run quite long. I think my longest was most of 6,000 in one scene, which I try not to do very often, but sometimes it happens, right? Only 16 pages left for the beta read that I said I'd have done by the end of today. Very glad I'll be able to get it done. That's awesome! And Bird of Inferno, I'm sure the person that you're reading for really appreciates it. I know lots of people struggle to find beta readers, and I always appreciate like the efforts of my beta readers and just that the fact that they give me honest feedback, and they're usually fairly prompt about it as well. So I'm sure they appreciate you. That's super awesome. Let's see who is hanging out on Twitch so that we can do a raid, and then I can go get some lunch. Who is around today? I see that Sable is around, and I did not read her yesterday, so we might pop over there. Let's see what she's up to. Oh, they've been going for 2 hours, though. They might be wrapping up soon. Let's see. I see a couple other writers on. Let's see who's doing stuff. Thank you for stream. Catch you later. Thank you so much for hanging out. Bird of Inferno, it's always good to see you. We've been having little conversations as I read because she's seeing my comments as I make them. Oh, that's nice. I like finding the comments that my beta readers leave for me and chuckling about them later. You just want to see him losing his shit on the council? I would like to see that. Let's strap in on Sable and Aaron. I think they usually wrap up around 2, but they're super nice to hang out with, and they know way more people on Twitch than I do, so we can always ride the raid wave. I still have to make up the master doc. It will mostly depend on time. I don't get a lot of time to read for other writers, unfortunately. But I definitely appreciate the offer, and once you have it ready, just let us know. You can always drop a note in the Discord, and I'll see if I have time. Oh, you said it's already up for anyone to read and vote on? Yeah, I'll see if I get some time. This weekend I mostly have to do D&D prep. But we'll see. I'll keep it in mind because I would love to read for more authors than I usually have time for. Let's get a raid started. It's not a book thing, only release a chapter a month. Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. Oh yeah, I remember you said that you were trying to get it done for your self-imposed deadline. I have to self-impose deadlines too, or I'd never get anything done. Please feel free to use any emotes that make you happy for the raid. These are some of mine if you have them, but any emote that makes you happy is good because we're just spreading the love. I'm probably going to hit the raid button pretty quickly just because I'm hungry and I want to go grab some food. But thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. It means a lot. Last night was rough as illustrated by the story. And hanging out with all you guys and just writing something fun and silly felt so good, and I feel so much better about today. I'll do a quick shout out. I will be over on Flutterdie's channel this evening. Moose, thank you so much for gifting a sub to Stream Elements so that it can actually show my emotes. That's so amazing of you. Also, I will do a shout out for Ghost Pepper. He is going to be doing a deep dive of the new D&D 1 releases tonight if you're interested in seeing some of that conversation. Moose, you are the best. Thank you so much. You're all awesome. Please take care. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you either tonight or Tuesday. Bye-bye.